Title: She Knocked on the Wrong Door and Found Her Forever Home *. Channel: Everyday Grace. Stories. You never know which moment will change your life forever. * For 9-year-old Lily, it started with a knock on the wrong door. She had no idea. She was just a few inches, a few steps away from the place she'd later call home. *. And neither did the woman on the other side of that door. *. So don't go anywhere. Because by the end of this story, you'll see how one small mistake led to a miracle, and maybe, just maybe, you'll start to believe in fate again. *. And before we begin, if this story touches your heart, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Everyday Grace Stories, and help us keep spreading hope one story at a time. It was a rainy Thursday afternoon. The kind where the skies hang low and the air smells like old memories. Lily stood outside with her tiny pink backpack, soaked, shivering, and unsure of what to do next. *. She had just gotten off the school bus 3 blocks too early, a new route, a distracted driver, and a scared little girl who didn't know her. Way around the neighborhood. Her mom always said, if you're ever lost, knock on the door and ask for help. So she did. She picked a house with flower pots on the porch. That had to mean someone kind lived there, right? Her small fist tapped the wood 3 times. And that's when Eleanor opened the door. *. Eleanor was 68, retired, and had been living alone ever since her husband passed away 3 years ago. She spent most of her days knitting, feeding birds, and listening to silence echo through her empty house. She had grown used to loneliness until that knock. *. Eleanor looked down and saw a drenched little girl with big eyes and an even bigger stutter of fear in her voice. *. I think I'm a little lost, Lily whispered. *. Something about the moment took Eleanor's breath away. She hadn't heard a child's voice in years, and she never expected one to show up at her doorstep, unannounced, scared, and alone. *. Come inside, sweetheart. Let's get you warm. What was meant to be a 5-minute shelter turned into something much more. *. While they waited for Lily's mother to be contacted, Eleanor wrapped her in a warm towel, made her some cocoa, and gave her a pair of wool socks. *. They sat on the couch, talking. Well, Lily talked and Eleanor listened. Really listened? *. Lily told her about her school, her love for drawing, how her dad had left when she was 4, and how her mom worked double shifts just to make ends meet. She wasn't complaining, just telling like it was normal. Like being left behind and forgotten was just how things worked. *. Eleanor's heart broke silently. *. When Lily's mother finally arrived, flustered and apologetic, Eleanor stood at the doorway and smiled. She said she's welcome here any time. At the time, it was just a polite gesture, but that one visit turned into 2, then 3, then every Saturday. In time, Eleanor became Miss Ellie, then just Ellie, and eventually, she became Grandma. *. Lily started spending weekends at her house. They'd paint together, plant flowers, bake cinnamon rolls. Eleanor taught Lily how to play the piano just like she once taught her own daughter who had passed away young. *. They were 2 broken hearts who somehow fit together perfectly. *. And Lily's mom? She saw it too. At first hesitant, she soon became grateful that her daughter had someone who loved her purely, without judgment or condition. Someone who filled the gaps life had carved out too soon. *. But just when everything seemed perfect, life, as it often does, took a turn. Eleanor got sick. *. It started with fatigue, then appointments, then a diagnosis: cancer, the kind that comes quietly and doesn't ask permission. *. Lily was 12 by then. Old enough to understand, but still too young to carry that kind of pain. She sat by Eleanor's bed every evening, reading her stories, brushing her hair, holding her hand. *. One night, Eleanor looked at her and said, "You know, I always thought I'd die alone." "But then you knocked," Lily cried. But she also smiled. Because somehow, even through the pain, she knew she had been chosen to be part of Eleanor's last chapter, and what an honor that was. Eleanor passed away 6 months later, but not without leaving something behind. In her will, she left the house to Lily's mother, so Lily always has a place where she feels loved. Asterisk, and in the attic, Lily found a box of letters. One for every birthday she'd have until she turned 25, each one filled with stories, lessons, encouragement, and love. Years passed, and Lily did grow up in that house. She painted her room lavender, kept the flower pots on the porch, and every morning fed the birds just like Eleanor used to. Asterisk, she eventually became an art teacher, the kind who doesn't just teach but sees her students. Because once upon a time, someone saw her too. Asterisk, and every year, on the anniversary of that rainy Thursday, she opens the front door, stands on the porch, and whispers, "Thank you for answering." Asterisk, because sometimes the wrong door is exactly where you're meant to be. If this story moved you even just a little, please don't leave without liking the video and subscribing to Everyday Grace Stories. Your support helps us share more stories that heal, that inspire, and that remind us of the power of human connection. Moral of the story, asterisk, sometimes life leads us to where we belong through accidents, mistakes, or unexpected turns. But those aren't accidents at all. They're grace in disguise. One small knock can open a door to love, healing, and home. Let this be a reminder. Asterisk, kindness isn't something we prepare for. It's something we answer. And sometimes it's waiting just behind the next door.